All right, hi folks. Welcome to my crafting guide. This is going to cover the top 5 cards I think you should craft from every rarity. So let's just get to it, man. All right, so we will start with the category I think is the least important for new players to worry about. But if you do want good legendaries to craft, we're gonna start off here. This, I think, the other 3 categories are way more important for you to get cards from. But this is a category where if you got the extra crystals and you really want like a really cool, like kind of flashy dude for your deck, or uh, one of them's kind of its own deck style. But this is where you want to be here if you got the crystals. So coming in at number 5 is the Colossus. This is a total build around card. You can put healers behind it. You can nether step it. You can do lots and lots of nasty things with the Colossus. Mortar keeps bringing them back. You can make them invisible with the. There's an assassin that can turn make guys invisible, etc. Um, he's just very, 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 very powerful. A lot of decks have been built around him. He's been kind of a staple in many masters since the beginning. He's a little weak to laser turrets and lightning bolts, but you know, if you can get him to the other side of the field, you're usually gonna win. So it's pretty good, awesome card, and he hits some big like arcs. So like he basically just kind of kills all the ground units around him. So very, very nasty. All right, so coming in at number 4 is Ritual of Servitude. Now this is a kind of a deck style onto itself. It will summon the lowest cost card from your deck. So you want to make your deck at least a 6 or higher average to get at least a point, you know, value up from the ritual certitude, but you often want to make it much higher, like more effectively, or like 7 mana. Usually ritual decks are higher because you want to get as many free points as you can when you cast this. So very, very, very cool card. You just need a lot of high cast minions to go along with it to make it work. All right, so moving on to our number 3 pick. It is Scott the Sensitive Savage. And he is, I believe, the highest DPS in the game. So if you just want raw damage, this is the guy to go to. He's also fairly cheap, so you can go into a lot of decks towards the high end of, like kind of cheaper decks, or, you know, more mid range if you're doing a mid range thing or whatever. But just nasty. If you can get him to the base, he's just gonna go to town and end the base very, very quickly. So he is really, really nasty, nasty, nasty dude. He's probably my favorite legendary too. And then moving on to number 2 is Bara, the Witch Wolf. This guy kills mobs, he kills big guys. He will, when you summon him, he freezes people in the tracks. So sometimes that's useful for like a big rush coming at your base where they would do lots and lots of damage. He can kind of freeze them in their tracks and kind of get you guys right. If you're in solo or teams, you can kind of rescue your base. Sometimes they can do a spell or something that takes him out before he can get to work. But because he is kind of squishy. But very, very powerful unit though. And then going to our number 1 craft for legendaries, we're gonna go Johan, or Yahoon. I think that's how you say it. I was corrected. I was saying it wrong all these years. It is Yahoon, Keeper of the Jade Spark. He's similar to Colossus, where you can like do healers on him. Um, You can't move him with Nether Step now, so because he's mythic. But what's cool about him being mythic too is he's immune to lightning bolts, etc. And very powerful. He also kind of attacks an area, but it's like a straight line in front of him wherever he's attacking. But he'll shoot out quite a distance and kill a bunch of units in front of him. Very very cool, powerful card. Very slow moving though. Like Johan takes a while to get to the other side, but very very strong. All right, so we are moving on to our next crafting category, which is going to be the Supremes, and coming in at number 5 is Lightning Bolts. Now this is a answer to big guys that have been plaguing you in the game. This and there's a a lower rarity version called a laser turret that will also kill big guys. But if you can time this right, a lot of times you can like change whole games by like lightning bolting a Colossus or some other big threat like a crack gold doom cleaver or something. A well-placed lightning bolt can do a lot of good work. Very very powerful card. It is a card because it's a random enemy or building, so you really have to time your lightning bolts, or sometimes you have to try to get minions cleared out before you lightning bolt. Um, I'll take like a 50-50 a lot of times if the if the thing that you're trying to hit is really really nasty. Sometimes the 50-50 is good enough, but I probably wouldn't chance it too much more than that if you can avoid it. Very, very, very strong card, though. All right, then moving on to our number 4 pick is Demon Warrior. This is kind of like a whole other deck strategy, kind of like Ritual of Servitude, where you kind of want to make your deck like able to cycle through really fast. So you want really, really low cost minions in your deck, usually like 3 or less cost. Sometimes you throw in like one higher card or something to there's an effect you want if you want like a Defenso Chopper or something. Um, but you just try to cycle through your deck as fast as you can, and after the 5th time, you start making these triple health, triple damage demons that are like huge, like kind of like Colossus size, coming towards the enemy base. Um, they're not quite as good as like Colossus because they don't attack in like an arc or anything, but they're very very strong. And you'll be putting out lots and lots of them, which is pretty cool. All right, so coming in at number 3 is the Blastmaster. This is Ratbo's Nightmare coming at you in a skeletal form. He's really cool at blowing up small mobs, and what's nasty is he has like a soul detonation that goes in a radius, and it will blow up like all the mobs in here, and like sometimes he'll like just blow up like a bunch of mobs that are like like there's like propeller scrats and whatever next to it or something. They'll just blow them all up. It's pretty disgusting. Um, very very cool card especially if you're getting overrun by like tons and tons of small minions. This is the guy for you to get the job done. All right. Then moving on to our number 2 pick is a new card, which you technically can't craft it till next month, but the Scrapyard, it is a generator card, which is very powerful. You get value over time. You have to build your deck in a certain way again. This is another kind of build around card where you need Outlander cards to build up tech points. And once you get 100 tech points, you produce a unit out of this. What's cool though is you already have a bunch of tech points built out when you put it out. Like oftentimes if you have like 200 tech already, it will just pop out 2 units as soon as you lay it down. So very 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 cool card. And the tech units are like they're random 3 to 5 Outlander cards, which is like Plasma Rains and Annihilators and Aim Bots and stuff like that. Very cool. Alright, then our number one pick for Supremes to craft is the Harbinger. Harbinger is been a nasty card and Mini Masters since as far as I can remember, as far as I've been playing. It's just been disgusting. Um, it is a little squishy. It's kind of low health for the mana investment, but it does a lot of damage. Just attacks very, very slow. And sometimes it's funny. You'll get the Harbinger by the base, and if they don't have any like flying minions, he'll just like, I've seen the Harbinger go all the way a few times, just like, being right there in the middle of the field, right by their base, and they just can't do anything because they have no like flying units or no gun units or whatever that can affect them. Or you got mobs coming from either direction on the bridges, and they're distracted. They're not targeting the Harbinger. But very, very cool card. Another very slow unit, but he shoots so far away. And if you're using like a unit, a master like Stormbringer, his range goes even farther, which is really cool. All right, so moving on to our rares. So coming in at number 5 is Jade Spark Watchers. This is a card that you can use at the high end of a Zenshi deck. You can do like a deck like Marlin where he runs like 3 Jade Spark Watchers and then a lot of low cast minions, like kind of like 4 mana or less, so you can keep cycling through to the Jade Spark Watchers and try to make them deal with it with like shock effects and things like that. They form little mushroom shrooms that boost them, like make them grow too. Sometimes the placement's not great for them, but sometimes it's like perfect where they're right next to each other and you can just like pick them up really easy. Very, very powerful. Lots of damage over time with these guys. Especially the big dudes. What's cool about having the little dudes with them too is they'll clear out flyers for the big guys, stuff like that. It's very, very powerful. All right, and then moving on to our number 4 crafting list. Oh no, we lost it. Oh no. Oh no. All right, let's see if we can get it back. There it is. All right. So it is Stun Lancers. Now, Stun Lancers actually became a little more powerful after last season when they nerfed Resonating Crystal Blast, because Resonating Crystal Blast used to blow them up really cheap. Now you got to use like a Fireball or Beam of Doom if you want to clear both of them. It's kind of hard now without using something like that to clear both of these guys out. You can clear one out pretty easy, but both is kind of rough. So these guys are doing a lot of good work. They've seen a lot more play since Resonating Crystal Blast got the axe a little bit. It's just nasty. They can lock down like Colossuses. They can lock down like Johan if you time it right, or the dragon, etc. They're very, very annoying sometimes if you're not the one playing them. And then so our number 3 pick is Rammer. He is just a nice finisher. You can throw like him a one of in a deck, or you can run multiple with him, or you can run him with a bunch of Brutish Betrayers and kind of go that route. I see him as a one of a lot of times in like Mordor and King Puff decks, because the Mordor will keep getting him back to the tombstones, and then also the King Puff will give him shields and rage and stuff like that. So very nice card. He's just trying to kill the enemy base too. So what's kind of nice about him is, if you just need to get that last damage in, a lot of times you can throw the rammer out to win. Like my first kind of real deck ran like Crossbow Guilds and stuff like that, but then I used a rammer as like one of the finishers in the deck. Like I would just kind of get them to a certain point, and then like I could just start sending out rammers to finish them off. So I have it's kind of soft spot because this is like kind of he was in the first roll deck I had that was like doing a lot of good work for me. All right, so now on to our number 2 pick is Fire Imp. He kills everything on the ground that you can imagine. He'll kill tall units. He'll kill mobs real easy. You give him enough time, he will kill anything. He's just super squishy. You gotta protect him. He cannot kill air units either, so that is a weak spot for him. But the Fire Imp, I've seen him kill pretty much everything that's on the ground. he's a nasty dude to be on the other end of his little fire blast. All right, so moving on to our number 1 pick, it is the Crossbow Guild, and this is a card where you need to kind of have like fat units block out its lanes. Like you want like either like Defenso Choppers or Scrat Tanks or Living Statues or something of that nature. And the Crossbow Guild will just keep giving you value over time, and very powerful. It's a great early deck building strategy because it's pretty easy craft, and you're building around with a few cheaper like kind of thick units, and you kind of got a deck going on already. So very cool. All right, and then moving on to our commons. So coming in at number 5 is Defenso Chopper. This is one of the best defensive cards in the game. It just locks down lanes sometimes. It beats up small mobs because they'll all get like stun locked by him. So great card to play against like Scrat hordes or Peller Scrats or whatnot. They'll just hit them and they'll get fried. He also messes up like Scott the Sensitive Savage, like anything that attacks really fast, or like Mardred, because they just keep getting stun locked by him. So he's really good in that. The only thing is he does not attack air stuff, so air units just go right by him, except for like propellers. Things that attack like hand to hand still hit him, and also like a cleaver will do so much damage to him that it'll only be like 1 or 2 hits to or like 2 hits to kill him if he's fully healed, fully healthy. All right, so moving on to our number 4 craft for newer players would be Living Statue. Now this is another card that's kind of like a build around card. You can just put them in as an one of on a deck just to be in the deck, but a lot of times he's more effective if you build around him like lots of small minions and maybe multiple statues, and you can have like fire imps behind him or crystal arcanus, stuff like that to clear out ways for the room for the living statues. You do whole like living statue spam stuff going on them, or you can like put him in front of like creature generators and just have the living statue be a block for them getting value over time. Very powerful card, and very good early deck strategy you can use in the game. Then coming in at number 3 craft for new players for commons is the Swarmer Totem. Now this produces swarmers over time. Like every 7 seconds it produces 3 swarmer totem, three critters, 3 swarmers, and just a very powerful card. Actually, one of the top leaderboard decks is running a 1 of Swarmer Totem and like super spammy, and then keeps putting out the Swarmer Totem. And it's a very, very nasty deck. I can't remember the player's name right now. I played against him a few times the other day, and it's a very cool deck. I actually threw it together for a while, but I was just doing all right with it. But it was neat. It kind of sucked. Like one of the times I threw it together to play it, I actually matched it up against him again, so we were just playing the same deck against each other. But anyway, moving on to the number 2 pick, which is Laser Turret. Now this card here will help to ease your woes against like big fat legendaries coming towards your side of the field. Laser Turret can easily kill like living statues. It can kill Colossuses. It can kill Yahoons. It can kill basically anything that it gets the time to hit. Its laser will start going faster and faster and faster until the thing's dead. I've had it kill like 2 or 3 big guys in a row for me. This card is just awesome, and at a common and a 5 mana answer to some of the most deadly things in the game. It's a very, very good craft for newer players. It actually was my number 1 craft from before for commons, but it got knocked out by the new number 1 craft for newer players, the Brothers of Light. Now, Brothers of Light, if you run these guys with a bunch of low cost minions, the like 4 or less, and a like shock rock and maybe a fireball or something, you've got something very similar to what Palm's deck is, and it's a pretty cheap like deck that you can just start crushing with on the ladder. You know, that's Palm's deck is in the high master ranks right now, and grandmaster, like they'll be decks, very similar to what I just described. So if you're a newer player and you want a very good deck like straight off that's pretty cheap to craft, you can craft Brothers of Light. I think they already give you like Plasma Marines and like a warrior, stuff like that. Like some of your basic cards are already pretty good for the cycling thing in this deck. And then if you don't have a fireball, you can like craft like a fireball and a shock rock, and you've got like this really potent deck like straight off that you can just start crushing with. So anyway, guys, that is my top 5 for each category for crafting. Hope you liked it. Hope it helps you guys start getting into the swing of how making cool tournament decks for Minion Masters. I will talk to you later. Bye bye.